thank you so much, ladies, for being with me today. Naturally, we're going to talk a wee bit about yourselves being accountants, working with a tax specialist, and the perks that that brings the practice and hence your clients. So, Claire, Lindsay, I wanted to sort of get your opinion on working with a specialist in general. Why is it not something that you do in-house? What's the perks that it does bring your practice to go down that road?
Well, Karen, I think for me, for us, the biggest benefit is the assurance or reassurance it gives us and our clients that we have a specialist in the field able to analyse any potential R&D claim. And it definitely, I mean, we can't have all types of hats on. We can't be the experts in everything, and we don't claim to be. So definitely having an external expert there to rely on is a massive benefit to us and to our clients. It gives them that, extra reassurance that we're delivering a complete all-round service to them and their business.
Absolutely. Do you think you would ever touch on it yourselves? Do you think you would ever give it a go?
I think the risk, well, personally, I think the risk, and especially with all the changes coming in, I think the risk is just too high, and that's probably, as well as what I've already said, the risk element is one of the main reasons we look to an external expert to provide that service.
Superb. Yeah, super. Do you know, it's funny you mentioned risk there, because with the R&D changes coming, risk and uncertainty is, two words I'm seeing around the accountancy world. They're going to have to start writing technical reports. They'll have to put their name against that report. And as much as the intention from HMRC is to reduce fraud, that's the purpose of these changes coming, it does sort of make me worried that perhaps accountants will look at that and go, oh, well, actually, I wasn't really sure about it before, but now I'm definitely not going to touch it. Do you find that means the clients have the potential to miss out then, or what do you feel about that?
Possibly. I think there's probably an opportunity for the likes of yourself and any other specialist in that area to, make contact with more accountants and offer the service to give them the comfort and reassurance for their clients as well. It's never something that I would suggest that we would take on ourselves because of the complexity in nature. And I think clients appreciate, working in collaboration with others. So I think it's an all-round win. But there's always going to be changes in legislation, and that's one of the reasons why I don't think we're as qualified to keep on top of those specialist areas as others. So we would always look to have that collaboration, basically, with the likes of yourselves.
Perfect. And that's something I really admire, actually, with Count on You, because you ladies are very proactive when it comes to sending out videos to your clients, keeping up to date on social media with changes and, fraud scams and all the rest of it. But what I've noticed in the market is that a lot of accountants who have said to me directly, they would love to be more proactive, but they find themselves more reactive. And it's something that a number of them are looking to actively change. Would you say that one easy step would be have a tax specialist on your books?
Yeah,
is that sort of standard?
Yeah, because I think that frees up time for accountants to be more proactive in the areas that we are the experts in and are comfortable with, and we can be able to advise our clients on particular areas that we are knowledgeable about, but then bring in the experts for R&D, for example, where we're not so comfortable with. There's the risk around it. It just, we can't be an expert in all areas, and we try to be as progressive as we can and as proactive as we can. But using specialists allows us that freedom and that flexibility to be more proactive with our clients, for sure.
So that's actually a really good point to touch on, because you're saying that essentially you guys are great at doing what you're great at doing, and then you bring in specialists for those extra parts, and the whole purpose is to get your client, to maximise their experience with you, really. And I imagine, just from working in this world, clients imagine their accountants to know everything about everything. They go to you and almost expect you to just be able to do anything finance related. Is that the take you have?
Absolutely. not even just finance related. I find myself, I don't know about you, giving advice on all sorts of things that they're asking about.
Yeah.
But generally, yeah, they do. I think they expect us to have a hat of an IFA, R&D specialist, tax specialist for capital allowances or various other incentives as well. And so, yeah, whilst, I mean, pensions is another one, and we're not regulated to give certain advice. And I'll always say to clients, it's, that much as well, so that we can actually introduce them to other people that can help support them in the full financial function for their business and not just the one that we're providing. So I think clients, I like to think clients look at us as a source of information, that we know enough to point them in the right direction to get the right type of advice at the right time.
Perfect. And actually, I mean, that's a really nice picture that you're painting, because it's almost showcasing to your client that, look, everybody is good at something, so let's all work together, and then everybody will benefit. You'll get the outcome. You've come through us. We've put you onto a trusted source, and that's because we've then worked with this company for X amount of years. So it does just highlight the benefits of that collaboration you were referring to earlier, Lindsay. So one of the things I was hoping to get your opinion on was the R&D landscape. Definitely since COVID, we've seen a lot of cowboys come into the market. We find that the R&D space is oversaturated. Everybody and anybody can do a claim. I suppose my question to yourselves would be, what's your opinion of the landscape now? What do you see from an accountant perspective?
Well, I know from my point of view, there have been a few clients that have been approached by R&D tax specialists, and then they would come to us as their accountants to say, oh, have you heard of such and such company? Should I go with them? And my immediate response is no, because I've got a trusted specialist that, if, nothing against anyone else, but we've got a trusted specialist that if there is an R&D tax claim to be put in your behalf, then we would trust this source, particularly because you're verified by HMRC, you've got a track record.
Do you know, that was actually going to be my next question. So of course I know you use Catax as your trusted partner, which is fantastic. What is it in particular that you like about them? You've picked them for a reason. Do they keep you up to date well with changes? Do they send you out information on other incentives? What in particular do you like about them?
So from my point of view, I like the level of communication. We know that you're there when we need you. R&D, as we've mentioned, isn't a specialist area of ours, but we know the signs and signals to look out for. If there's a potential claim, then we would get in touch. I think one of the main benefits is, like what Claire said, it's a trusted source. We know that Catax don't pick up an R&D claim if they're not going to win it. They've got a good reputation with HMRC, and it's more likely to go through because of that. So I think that side of things, and being able to provide the comfort to our clients as well, knowing that we have got a tried and tested source, and we can sell that to them. And if there's nothing there, you'll be told, and that's happened as well. And I think clients are grateful for knowing that they've been put in front of a specialist, and if there isn't a claim there to be had, that they've got that information, and that they're not sitting on something that they maybe could have got. They know for sure, and I think that's important to clients.
Absolutely. Do you know that's a really good way to finish off the video, because I know we could talk about this all day. You have naturally passed clients along to myself, and we've been out and we've visited their premises and we've talked through things and we've dug a little deeper, and it's turned out that there's not been an opportunity to fulfill with. People might look at this and think, oh, why is she talking about that? She shouldn't be saying that she can't get anything for their clients. But I think it's useful to highlight that shows that we're not going to just put through any and every claim. We really want to make sure that there's potential for the client, and it doesn't benefit anyone for us to pursue something that's not worthwhile for them and for you. Mm-hmm. It just comes back on our name, it comes back on yours, and the trust is lost immediately. So I as much as I'm looking forward to our first win together, I do appreciate the experience that we've had so far, because it does sort of help build that trust.
Yeah, definitely. And I think it would be doing our clients a disservice to not engage with you and put them in touch with you, even if there's the slightest, inclination that there might be an R&D claim. So Yeah.
Sure, because at the end of the day, the conversation builds knowledge, it builds education, it gives them the understanding that right now we're possibly not eligible, but we're working on something. Or when it comes to grant funding, it may be that they go, well, actually, I've been thinking of starting this project and it was going to cost 100 grand or 200 grand. Knowing that they've got contacts in that space, it just gives them an extra, an extra contact.
Yeah.
Perfect. So listen, I'm going to wrap wrap things up, because I know we could go on, but thank you again so much. That the purpose of today really was to highlight the benefits of working with specialists, the collaboration value, and I think you've highlighted it really well. So I appreciate it.
Thanks, Karen.
Thank you.
Thank you.